Good morning, fifth graders, and happy Tuesday. I'm sure you know by now that we had some computer glitches yesterday. So, as an early Christmas present, I thought that I would move your little quiz back until tomorrow and kind of go over a little bit and tell you what you should maybe study and know. So do you remember when we started the life science unit? Well, the first thing I want you to do is if you open up your book and you take out the material that we've went over so far, and just kind of peruse it and look over it and read the sides to see, okay, what did I learn? What did I write? Kind of look at these things here and did I get them all right? Just kind of go through those. After you do, you might want to paper clip them all together, or because when we come back from Christmas, we're going to finish up how ecosystems then change. So I'm going to keep my notes out, so I'm going to tell you after exactly what I would study also. If you can remember, we actually started in chapter 3. We didn't really do all of this, but we did learn why we classify things and how we classify things. But if you want to kind of star dichotomous keys, we used a lot of those. We read a lot. There were a few in the book. There is a question concerning, let me get on the camera here, dichotomous keys. We learned how to classify when we were looking at different animals, and we did a little booklet called Mr. Fab and Miss Aw, and we turned that in. There's another dichotomous key, so there is a question on that. We just had some fun with classifying plants by eating vascular tubes. I had a piece of celery in red dye so you could see the tubes. We actually use our magnifying glass to look at those. And then I kind of skipped the last part of chapter 3. We moved right into predator and prey. And I'm going to kind of go through this, and we went to the land lab. But when you're looking at chapter 4, I'm going to kind of pull my notes down here if you can see both. Here I put a little star by number 3. If you took your notes, that's the definition about dichotomous key. You might want to know that. I know that is on the test. But we learned about ecosystems being these two things called biotic and abiotic things. So I put a little star by those words in our notes. And remember when we did our slide presentation and we all had to do a slide about what the temperature was like and maybe how much rainfall or water they got. So those are the two abiotic factors that really affect an ecosystem a lot. Remember when we talked about a desert can be really cold or really hot, but the thing that makes it a desert is that it does not get very much precipitation or water. Okay, the word habitat is here. It's number 5 in your notes. I could put a little red star there. We learned all about our ecosystems again, and let me move this over here, and the difference between a population and a community. Think about that review sheet. A lot of us mess that up because a community is a bunch of different populations, and it said that a population was a bunch of different communities, and if you weren't a careful reader, you might have messed that up a little bit. Some more ecosystems in our book, and then we were into balance and limiting factors. These are two very important concepts. Remember, every animal has a niche or niche, depending if you're listening to our textbook guy read it, but it kind of relates, and you're going to see this concept. Each species relates to the other in some way. If there's too many predators, we lose the prey. If the prey goes, then the predators are going to leave. It's important because of how much energy they need that there's always more of, like, your food chain should look like a triangle, that as you go up, you have less predators that eat the below, and the animals below, and producers always start on the bottom. This idea of things that limiting factors, we talked about when family comes over holidays sometimes, that people in the house might get into arguments sometime because the space is limited and you have to wait for the bathroom. So these are some examples of some limiting factors. When we look at Mill Creek Park, because we've built up around those woods, the space has become limited. So now we have to try to reduce the population of certain species because there's just not enough space or shelter for them. Perhaps water and food might become limited. And that's number 7 in your notes, which I then highlighted. So this idea of interactions in the ecosystems, like I said, I don't really highlight, and I don't think I put, oh yeah, I did put it in your notes here for number 8, but most of you knew of predator and prey and those, the roles that they had. But some of us on one of our worksheets are messing up what these guys eat. So you might want to know herbivore, carnivore, omnivore. So that is over here. I am going to go ahead. I starred number 9. I'm going to tell you the whole of number 9. You should know these. Actually, 9 and 10 are pretty important. This is new information for you guys, especially this idea of symbiosis. Food chains and food webs are on pages 134 and 135, and there's a few of those questions also on the test. They were covered on worksheets in your book. You had to find one for your ecosystem, so it's not something that just popped up there. Symbiosis is number 10. These are 3 new words that I would ask you to know what they meant. And once again here, this kind of deals with the balance in an ecosystem and how populations will change depending on the number, the animal hunted and the hunter. I don't have any graphs on the test though. We're going to stop there and just pick up 3, 4 after we come back. So if you want to, there are some, like this is, we're going to do something with that when we come back. As I said, there are some words here that if you wanted to cut them out, all of these would be on your test, page 153. And then a decomposer, consumer, producer, food web, and food chain. These ones will be when we come back. So if you want to do these 6 and these 6, and you just want to cut them out, and you want to quiz yourself, and you want to play a game, we would normally do that in school. And remember, our test is only over lesson, sorry, let me see, you can see this, lesson 1 and lesson 2. So I'm just going to have you watch this and have you study today. I'll post the test tomorrow. And remember that when I post a test, you're not going to have forever to do it. It's going to have a due date. So you need to get on that and take the test. When you get up into the upper grades, they actually, once you log on, you have to be done in an hour or something like that. So, not that you have to be done in an hour, but I'm going to want it the next day. So have a great Tuesday, and make sure you kind of peruse the information that's in your book, in your notes, and the things that we did for the life science. Okay, so I'm all dressed in red and green today, but I'll see you guys some at our Google Meet today at 11:30. Kind of want to see some Christmas apparel out there, guys. All right, bye.